at Lanna Muay Thai up in Chiang Mai. Big's fight name is Pornsawan Lek. And when I first came to Thailand, I was at Lanna Muay Thai for 2.5 years, and Big was my absolute hero. He was like 20 years old or something. But the way he fights is so exciting, and it's so different from his disposition everywhere else. But when I was at Lana, I never learned the clinch, so I wasn't good enough to play with him and learn from him. They never let me spar and clinch with him. So now that I've been away for about 2.5 years, and I finally learned how to clinch, I got to come back and work with him. So this was really, really exciting for me to be able to work with Big. And in this opening part, he's basically just testing me out to see what I have now. He had no idea what to expect with me coming back. So you can see how he uses this like shuffle forward or a skip forward. It actually completely paralyzes me so that he can land his knee as he's covering distance rather than just walking in. So he's slow, 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 and then he does that little skip. I freeze, and he grabs the back of my head, and he can land that knee. And you can see that because he's southpaw, his grip and my grip are opposites from each other. So he likes to hook behind with his right arm. I like to hook behind with my left arm, but he controls my right arm really well, which makes it hard for me to get a full lock. Because he steps really hard when he's going to throw his knee, he basically can move through me, and even if I step back a little bit, he's going to hit me. Whereas when I try to come at him, I don't step hard enough, and so he just moves his hips back a little bit, and he's out of the way. So there, when he's not stepping fully forward, he actually comes to the side a little bit. You can see how he turned me as my leg was up on the knee. So that means he doesn't have to use very much power. He's using 99% technique and then just a little bit of power at the right moment. He's only bigger than me by a couple of kilos, but he's using like 0 energy. And I'm trying to use more strength. There he got his thigh against the side of my thigh and twisted me. It's a throw that Loma's really good at. But he's always grabbing the top of my head to pull me into his knees as he's stepping really deep. So not only does it catch me so that I stay in one spot, but he can also pull me towards his knee, even if I start trying to get away. You can watch his body position every time he steps in. He's really consistent, and it works every time, even though I should know exactly what he's doing. He controls at the elbows, and when he gets locked, he straightens out his shoulder so that he can pull it back. You never want your arm and shoulder stuck in someone's grip. So here he's clinching me without any arms. And again, that was the timing on the knee coming up. Look at how relaxed he is in keeping his arm in the right position, whereas I'm trying to keep moving, and his movement is just far less. Here he started grabbing the side of my head and pulling me to the side. There was no amount of strength that could keep me from getting pulled to the side there. So here I'm trying to learn it from him. And he's showing how you just grab around the head, kind of above the ear, and pull. He pulls me more to the side. There I was kind of rolling him. See where his hand goes? So it goes to the side of the head, and then he just pulls. And he's not using a lot of power, but it feels like there's no resistance to it. And here is using the shoulder to break the grip. So you pinch your shoulder up towards your chin, and then you roll your shoulder forward. See how I move back a little bit? That doesn't put any leverage on him. You have to stay in one spot and push your shoulder forward to really get that arm off. It's actually painful if you come forward a little bit on the forearm of the opponent. Painful for the opponent. I should be rolling my shoulder, there you go, to try to get him off, but instead I'm just letting him grab the back of my head.
Drag back, drag back.
This was an Italian guy at the gym who Dang put in the ring to work with us, and Big was giving him a little bit of advice because I was pulling back on him. So when someone has you in a lock, see how he dips his head down and then creates a little space with his elbow. And then he long clinches to get his hands in. Here he's showing the swim in with his arms. And he puts his elbows slightly out, which is going to break the grip of your opponent. So I'm using the Dracula guard that Dang taught me to kind of guard the side of my face because I don't put my shoulder up enough. There's this kid, Poda, who used to train at Lana sometimes, and he would clinch with Big. He was amazing. He's called Tanadet, and he fights in Bangkok. But he has this long clinch. So because Big has clinched with Tanadet a million times, I was asking him to show me the long clinch. And here he's showing how to get out of it, sort of. But see how his head comes to the side of my head, and then he pinches his shoulders? He finds that funny because I didn't do it right.
He's teaching you escape. Teach long clinch.
So basically when someone grabs the long guard around, you pinch both of your shoulders so that they can't get the full lock in. But when you're doing the long clinch, you need to pinch your own shoulders so that they can't get in. So the escape and the initiation are actually the same. It's just whoever does it first. You can see how he makes his arms really long and pulls his body back, but his shoulders pinch in and his head goes under my chin. Here I'm asking him about his step in for the knee. He grips across the body. So he grabs the neck with the opposite side arm. And that blocks from punches and elbows at the same time. He's like, if you lock, you can block with the elbows. He's saying that if they see you coming, they're just going to block up, which is why he does that little skip forward. Which is what I said earlier on, it totally paralyzes me. So his little skip makes me freeze in one spot, or I might block, but he can still grab me. There, I'm trying to pull his head to the side the way he taught me. He's basically able to clinch with only one arm because he uses his shoulder and his head to stymie the grip that I'm trying to get. So if you watch his shoulders, you'll see him put pressure on me to try to like change the angles, and he's successful almost all the time. That pull back. When you get someone's head slightly down and then you pull back, it'll go all the way down. So here he's using his shoulders. He's just using his shoulders and I can't get my lock. His arms are kind of floppy, and then once he gets in a position he likes, he closes his arms behind my neck. Here, clinching me with no arms. So you can see that my grip isn't right behind his neck, which is why I didn't have the leverage. I had my head in, but you have to put the lock on the neck. So I'm trying to do his step in, but I don't step hard enough. So he just has to move a little bit and he's out of the way. That's the step. You can see how deep it is. That way you go through people. They're still, if you watch my foot landing near his foot, his goes either between my feet like that or on my foot. Mine doesn't get close. So he just moves a little bit out of the way. It's a little better. He's on the ropes, so he can be a little bit stingier when they're on the ropes. So there he's showing the shoulder again. So when someone gets the grip, you just use your shoulder to get the grip off.
Forward though. So
You can see how he rotates to the side, but his shoulder comes forward. It's so easy for him. I'm turning too much rather than stepping in with it. Look at how relaxed he is. There, I should be using my shoulder. So he grabbed on the left, pinned my foot with his left leg, and pulled me over it. Here he's showing how to get into the long guard that we were talking about before. And he's tucking his head to the side of my chin, and he controls with his other arm when I'm trying to get in. He can just go to the inside of my elbow and control that arm all the time. And his other arm just stays locked behind my head, pinning that shoulder. So I basically can't use either arm, and because his head is on my chin, I can't move him either because my body is straight up and down and his is in this goom, like curled position. So he has all the power.
He goes the other side.
So I'm putting my head in his jaw.
And he controls this arm with this hand.
And he's southpaw, so I'm actually going into the opposite lock that what I'm comfortable. I like to put my left arm behind. But so you basically just want to keep his shoulder pinned with your arm that's behind the neck, and then you control the arm that's trying to grip you with your more or less free arm. So there, my right shoulder wasn't against my own jaw, so he was able to swim in because there was a gap. So you really want to pinch your shoulders when you're doing this. And then he's like, you put your hips back so that you can knee, and then you drag. He drags and turns. I was just trying to drag mostly. So he's like, yeah.
Backward or turn.
But you have to close your shoulder. When it's around, I was holding like this. It's loose. So like, close your shoulder.
So there, I'm talking about how you have to pinch the shoulder up. That's basically creating the frame so that he can't get out. And you can see how he's using his head to keep me from getting the position I want. So there you see, he put his arm long, and then he'll bend it and keep his elbow on my shoulder, and then put it long again. So he's basically keeping that shoulder relaxed until he can pinch it into the position that he wants. And here I'm completely stuck, like I have no leverage on anything he's doing, and he's just wrenching me around.
As I try to come out, it's like
But he also drag back and turn.
dragging.
And turn, yeah.
Yodkun Pan does this too. When he's coming at you, he grabs you with his forearms and pulls you down in like these tiny incremental pulls while he's grabbing you. It feels utterly inescapable, and you can't actually see it, but my God, you can feel it. So when he's turning or I'm trying to move, he's putting his forearm on the back of my neck and leveraging me and pushing me and pulling me into positions where I'm off balance. Not stepping hard enough. And here you can see he doesn't step at all, but look at how fast that leg comes up because his other foot is already close enough, and he just nails me with it every time. You can see the difference in his hips being forward and me being kind of bent back. So he's already got like a 4-inch advantage just by putting his hips in. And then here I'm gripping him behind the neck, you can see, but I don't pinch my shoulder. So I don't actually have a grip. It's arm position, shoulder position, head position.
He's so fast, baby. So fast, yeah.
And everything comes from the hips. So all of those things, plus having your hips in the right position, which is mostly forward and then back when you want to strike, but then you close it again. So you can see there his foot is already in the right position and he throws that knee rather than having to step. So he's using my hesitation for the distance. So here again he's going to show me how to use the forearm the way that he was doing. So here he's showing how to break. But he's stepping and using the forearm to push my head at the same time. So you can do this to break someone's grip on you, but he does it while he's stepping. He's saying that the strength is just from doing pull-ups. So pull-ups every day, and he can wrench the head like this. So you can do this one-handed. It's by having your elbow in the shoulder, and then you kind of wrench down, but he does it better because of how he steps. You'll watch how he makes it all one movement. So I should be stepping behind him. I'm going a little bit to the side. So he just stiffens his back, and I can't quite pull him. But that's showing how whenever someone grabs you, you need to have this kind of automatic bodily response. That's not that. So he's showing how to pull into the knee. And because I'm stiffening my body but my hips are back,